somewhere along the way, I think we internalize something, that being realistic means lowering expectations. Y'all, when did optimism become naive and being a big old pessimist become what we champion? Sure, it sounds mature, it sounds responsible, it even sounds intelligent, but I think we got it wrong. Because when did believing something could work become unrealistic? When did hope become childish? I say we rebrand and embrace optimism, because I don't think it's denial. I think it's strategy. I think it's fuel. And I think it might be one of the most important, powerful forces we've underestimated. So this podcast, it's about rebranding optimism, not as blind positivity, but as deliberate, strategic decision to keep moving forward. I'm Jenna, and this is Aggressive Optimism. And honestly, I'm really glad you're here. This is episode 1, and I want to just give you an overview of what this podcast is all about. I don't want it to feel like a lecture. I want it to feel like we're sitting next to each other while life is happening. Because here's the truth. We're all just people, right? People with big dreams, people with responsibilities, people who sometimes wonder if we're crazy for wanting more. And I think we deserve a better conversation than just be realistic. So this show exists because I've watched too many capable, creative, thoughtful people slowly talk themselves out of what they want. Not because they aren't talented, not because they aren't working hard, but because along the way we absorbed the idea that wanting something big is irresponsible, that dreaming is naive, that optimism is to be controlled. Honestly, I don't buy into that. I spent 25 years building a career in Hollywood, acting, producing, marketing, reinventing, starting over in rooms where no one knew my name. It's really scary, right? But here's what I've learned. There's never just one way. There are a million ways to do anything. But most of us, we try one path, maybe two, and when it doesn't unfold perfectly, we quietly decide it wasn't meant to be. What if it wasn't rejection? What if it was just information? What if optimism isn't pretending everything works out? What if it's the discipline to continue to look for another way forward? Listen, this is not a teaching podcast. It's a proximity podcast. It's a come sit next to me while we build something podcast. So for the next 9 episodes, it's just going to be me. I'm going to walk through some of my biggest, most audacious dreams and how they actually happened. It's going to get a little messy because this is not going to be a polished version. It's just like the real thing. The pivots, the recalibrations, the rejections, the responsibility. Because I believe when we can see how something was built, it starts to feel possible for all of us. And honestly, you guys, I need the reminder just as much as you might. And after that, we're bringing in conversations. Some of those conversations will be with people you've heard of, people with big careers, big platforms, big visibility. And some of those conversations will be with people you haven't, a local nonprofit founder, a creative who carved out their own lane, someone who built something meaningful right where they live. And here's what I've learned working with some of the biggest names out there. They're just people. They're people with doubts. So many doubts, guys. People with fear, people who had a dream and didn't give up. That's the key, right? Don't give up. Fame doesn't come from being superhuman. It doesn't make them superhuman either. It just makes them visible. And visibility isn't the point. The build is the point. That's what we're paying attention to here, not the pedestal. My favorite line from an Alanis Morissette song is, "This pedestal is high and I'm afraid of heights." And so I don't want to talk about pedestals. I want to talk about the process. I don't want to talk about the highlight reel, though we will acknowledge it because freaking awesome. If you got to a point where you have a highlight reel, good deal. Let's talk about it. but I want to focus on how you got there. I want to focus on the movement because we don't need another guru, honestly. We need proof. We need proof that people like us, whether the world knows our name or not, can build meaningful lives, right? It's easy right now to feel cynical. Oh my gosh. You have no idea how hard it has been to push record on this podcast because honestly, I've been in a state of cynicism. But that's not who I want to be in the world, right? So when we feel that way and we feel like effort doesn't matter and we feel like everything is stacked against us, then we need to latch onto optimism even more. Because I don't think pessimism is realism. Like, I think it's resignation, y'all. Right? Like, and I don't think optimism is naive. I think it's courageous. It's the decision to keep moving, to adjust the strategy, to try another way. We do not control the outcomes, but we absolutely control whether we keep moving forward or not. And movement changes things. That's what aggressive optimism is. It's not hype. It's not delusion. It's just a steady decision to keep going. So if you've ever wondered whether big goals are reserved for other people, they're not. If you've ever felt like maybe you missed your window, join the club, but we didn't. We didn't. We're not behind. We're becoming. So if this resonates with you, please follow the show, give it a like, leave a review. It's so helpful because when you do, it helps this conversation reach more people. People who need a reminder that optimism isn't naive, it's realistic. And we're just getting started. So until next time, go be realistic. And by realistic, I mean optimistic. And I'll see you later.